Good day, my dear 5th class students. Today I am going to teach one lesson in social studies. The title of the lesson is The Changing World. In the changing world, the subtopic is promotion of language and knowledge. Prior to that, I want to take care of a couple of formalities. My name is Allada Janardhana Rao. I am the correspondent of Sudhana Vidyalaya, and I am very happy to share with you that we are all safe here following the COVID practices. We have more than 500 videos recorded from LKG to 7th standard. We have Zoom classes for 8th, 9th and 10th, and the attendance is pretty good. The only sad part of it is the students do not have the test books. Parents, it is your turn to act upon it. I told several times, still it looks like you are pinching for money. If you have a problem, come and meet me and I will try to help you. Now, this chapter is a promotion of language and knowledge. So in this, we will learn about the types of languages. You have the languages with script, languages without script, like that. And then how did the language and writing come about? Where did it start? First, where did it start and where we are now? What are the various stages of writing? And also the invention of number systems. We are very proud to say that the numbers 0 to 9 are invented by Indian mathematician Aryabhatta. And also after that I will review the whole thing. Then then see you have the information, so now you have to write. So how did the paper come into practice? Origin of paper, calligraphy means handwriting, and then printing. Who printed? John Gutenberg, I think from Germany, he invented the machine, and also there is what is called a Braille script. Braille script, this is for blind people. Blind people, they cannot read, but there are some language, there is some, what they do is, for number 1, for example, you have a plain surface and there will be one dot which you can feel, touch it, and then say that, oh, this is 1. Similarly, for 2, you will have a different symbol, for 3, different symbol, ABC, different symbols and all that. So that is a Braille script is invented by Braille for blind people. Then you have what is called literacy and literate. And then niraksharasyata, educated, literate and educated, అలాగో వాళ్ళ గురించి కూడా మనం తెలుసుకుంటాం. So and then I will review the second half. Of course, whatever I covered after the first half, review the first half, that means I will cover origin of the paper, calligraphy, printing and all that, and everything is followed by writing. First of all, I gave you the synopsis. Now I will read the lesson up to the first half, and then review that, what we learned from that, and then we continue for the second half, okay? Now, when I am reading, I want you to watch how I am pronouncing the words, and also when you read, you have to read with understanding. That means without understanding, don't read the subject. It doesn't do you any good. So when you move from one sentence to other sentence, it means that you have understood the previous sentence, okay? So read with comprehension and చదివేసి అర్థం చేసుకుంటూ చదవాలి, okay? Then it's a piece of cake. When you అర్థం చేసుకుని చదివినప్పుడు matter, you can easily digest and remember, okay? So you don't have to by heart children's అవసరం, okay? Alright, let me start with the calligraphy and handwriting చెప్పాను. ఈజిప్షియన్స్ అంటే వారు ఈజిప్ట్ నుండి ఉన్న ఈజిప్ట్కి సంబంధించిన వాళ్ళ ప్రజల్ని ఈజిప్షియన్స్ అంటారు. మనం జస్ట్ లైక్ ఇండియాకి ఏమంటున్నాం, మనం ఇండియన్స్ అంటున్నాం. అమెరికా అయితే అమెరికన్స్ అంటున్నాం. ఫ్రాన్స్ అయితే ఫ్రెంచ్ అంటున్నాం. లైక్ దట్. ఆస్ట్రాలజీ, ఖగోళ శాస్త్రం గురించి చూడను. Those are some difficult words, and I will read the lesson, and I want you to follow how I am reading. particularly the pronunciation and of course, when there is a difficult word, I will tell you the meaning. Now I'm starting with the page number 36. You can see page number 36. This is the lesson Unit-4, the changing world, and then it says 10, promotion of language and knowledge. Okay. Now, earlier we learned about the various advancements in the technology, particularly with reference to communication, transportation and all that. Now, we will read about the language, how the language started, how it is transformed, and where we are now. Okay? Now, let me read this. Communications, like languages, printing, technology, and means of communication, are now well developed. Internet communication అంటే ఒకరిని ఒకరికి ఒక విషయాన్ని తెలియజేయడం, and then printing technology, print చేయడం, and then means of communication. How do you communicate? Means అంటే ఇప్పుడు టెలిఫోను, టీవీ ఉంది, టెలిఫోన్, ఇంటర్నెట్, telegraph, telex, fax, like that radio, the mass communication individual communication, even when into a very high tech body development, technology development. That is why we can communicate to any distant place in many ways within no time very easily. Distant place ante chala dooranga, distance anta dooranga kada, distant place in many ways within no time very easily. Now, but when we think about the olden days, this is modern days. What about the olden days? There was no language script, and people were wanderers without any permanent shelters. After old days lo, permanent shelter kuda undegadu. They used to wander tirugutunde. After some time, they started to live in groups. Konnala ayin tarvata, they start to live in groups. Groups eppudaithe kalstunnaro, well, they have to communicate from one person to another person. That's where they need to communicate the language, even avasram. So then they recognize the need of the exchange of their feelings. Mana feelings ni exchange chesukoవాలి, ఒకరినొకరికి తెలియజేసుకోవాలి. Until the script was developed, they could only share their views orally. ఈ స్క్రిప్ట్ వచ్చే ముందు వాళ్ళు ఓరల్గా చెప్పడమే, అది చేతులు సంఖ్యలు అవార్డ్స్ చేసేవారు. This necessity forced human beings and paved the way to a pictorial script. అప్పుడేమైంది? పిక్టోరియల్, పిక్చర్, బొమ్మ గీసి దాని ద్వారా కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయడం. దట్స్ కాల్డ్ ది pictorial script. They first drew pictures of various animals and objects, whatever they saw in their surroundings. వాళ్ళు చేశారట. Gradually, picture changed to pictorial script. Pictures ముందు బొమ్మలు గీశారు, that's pictorial script కింద మారింది. This was used in Egypt, Iraq and Indus Valley, Indus Valley civilization అంటాం, సింధు నాగరికత అంటాం. అలాగే ఇక్కడ ఈజిప్టు, ఇరాక్లో నేను. In later stage, the similar script developed in China and Japan. లో కూడా was developed రావాలి ఇక్కడ. Okay, China and Japan లో కూడా తయారైంది. The script experts are unable to find the way to read the Indus Valley pictorial script so far. Indus Valleyలో ఉన్నటువంటి స్క్రిప్ట్, పిక్టోరియల్ స్క్రిప్ట్ని ఈ రోజు కూడా సరిగా అర్థం చేసుకోలేకపోతున్నాం. Now, types of languages. So, what did we learn so far? We learned that in the olden days there is no script. ఫస్ట్ ఓరల్గా చేసేవారు సంఖ్యలతోది, తర్వాత బొమ్మలు గీసి నేర్చుకున్నారు, బొమ్మలతో చేయడం మొదలుపెట్టారు. తర్వాత types of languages. We have a good number of languages in the world. వరల్డ్లో చాలా ఉన్నాయి. There are more than 1650 languages in India. ఇండియాలోనే 1650 ఉన్నాయి. Languages are of two types, రెండు రకాలు. ఒకటి languages with script, and scriptless languages or language without script. అంటే స్క్రిప్ట్ భాష రాయడానికి ఏమి ఉండదు. లాంగ్వేజ్ విత్ స్క్రిప్ట్ అంటే రాయడానికి రాయవచ్చు. వెరాజ్ అదర్ వన్ స్క్రిప్ట్లెస్ భాష ఇది వాళ్ళ మాండలికం ఉంటుందండి. ఓకే, నౌ లెట్ మీ సీ. Language in the written form is called the script. Written form. Example, Telugu, Hindi, English, etc. Languages which does not have the script but used as a spoken language, such languages are called dialects. Dialects, Mandalika dialects. Example, Gond, Lombardy, etc. Okay? The first literature was introduced in the world with the Vedas. Vedas నుండి ఫస్ట్ లిటరేచర్ వచ్చిందట. ఇది సేక్రెడ్ బుక్స్ ఆఫ్ హిందూస్. హిందూ యొక్క మన సంస్కృతి అంత వచ్చు. మొట్టమొదటి స్క్రిప్ట్ ఎక్కడ స్టార్ట్ అయింది? వేదాలతో స్టార్ట్ అయింది. ఎక్కడ? ఇండియాలో. Since thousands of years, they were only transmitted from generation to generation. Not only the Vedas, but also many other subjects like grammar, astrology, mathematics, medicine, and many others may be quoted as illustrations. Avi kudanu develop ayyata. Various stages in writing. Most of the languages are having alphabet by which we can write. Alphabets on A, B, C, D, I, L, and in olden days, the script which was used in India was called Brahmi Lipi. Then Brahmi Lipi. Later, Devanagari, etc. came into existence. మొట్టమొదటి బ్రహ్మి లిపి, తర్వాత దేవనాగరి. Sanskrit is the mother of all languages and it is the oldest language in the world. Sanskrit is the oldest language in the world. Several Sanskrit words can be seen in many Indian and foreign languages. So, in that case, first Brahmi Lipi. Started as Brahmi, HMI Lipi. Then you have Devanagari. Find out Brahmi Lipi and Devanagari. Okay, alright? Now, so Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. Sanskrit is the mother of all languages, which is originated in India. Okay? Bharatadesham. And now you see there are a lot of Sanskrit words in many foreign languages also. In the early days, Mesopotamians used clay slates and sharp objects for writing. Mesopotamians. M-E-S-O, Mesopotamians. 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 All English are clay slates and sharp objects for writing. Clay the slate chesi dani మీద sharp objects గీశారట. Indians used talapatras, palm leaves, and the kantalu, తెలుసు కదా, a pen-shaped instrument for writing purpose. They also used copper plates on some special occasions. Copper plates కూడా వాడేవాట. Invention of the number system. The ancient people used to count with the help of knots and fingers. వేళ్ళను ముళ్ళతో కౌంట్ చేసేవారట. Later, symbols for numbers were discovered. Numbers from 1 to 9 and 0, which we are using now, were invented by the Indians. Who invented that numbers? 0 to 9, 1 to 9 and 0, they are all invented by Indians. The Arab merchants learned them from the Indians and later the rest of the world. Arab merchants Indians నేర్చుకున్నారు. Okay? The Arab merchants learned them from the Indians and later the rest of the world. The Arabs described numbers as Hinsa, Hinsa. Now, our ancient Indians, Aryabhatta, Bhaskaracharya, and few more contributed very much to the mathematics. Several Aryabhatta, Bhaskaracharya, and some more, they all contributed to mathematics. So, the invention of the number system, Indians number case, number they found it 0 to 1 to 9. That was 0 to Evero, Aryabhatta, and there are several other Aryabhatta invented it. Bhaskaracharya and few other mathematicians contributed to the mathematics. Then, so far, we have come up to here. Okay. So in this, what we learn is originally people were wanderers. Later they started living in groups. That necessitated they have to communicate. ముందు ఓరల్గా చెప్పుకున్నారు. తర్వాత దీని మీద బొమ్మలు గీశారు, బొమ్మలు గీసి నేర్చుకున్నారు, బొమ్మల ద్వారా నేర్చుకొని చేశారు. Later on the language came into a picture. ఈ లాంగ్వేజెస్లో రెండు రకాలు. ఒకటి ఏంటి, లాంగ్వేజ్ విత్ స్క్రిప్ట్, లాంగ్వేజ్ వితౌట్ స్క్రిప్ట్. జ్ఞాపకం చేశారు. వితౌట్ స్క్రిప్ట్, విత్ స్క్రిప్ట్, వితౌట్ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఏమిటారు, స్క్రిప్ట్లెస్ and with script. There are so many languages here. In India, 1650 languages ఉన్నాయి. And there are also scriptless అంటే వాటిని ఏంటంటారు, dialects అంటారు, మాండవికాలు అంటారు, అవి కూడా ఉన్నాయి. సో ఈ రైటింగ్లో మొట్టమొదట they found out the writing. They learned about the alphabet. Each language has its own alphabet. And then first actually I started with the Brahmi Lipi, and later Devanagari came into existence. For all these languages, Sanskrit is like a mother language which was originated in India. Now, there are famous mathematicians, Aryabhatta and Bhaskaracharya and many other mathematicians contributed very well to the mathematics that we enjoy in the present day. Initially, they started, Indians used Talapatras. Talapatras, తాటాకుల మీద యంత్రం పెట్టి చేసేవారు. Later on copper plates కూడా అప్పుడప్పుడు వాడుతున్నవారు. Now, of course, we are going to talk about the origin of the paper in the next section, okay? Now, so that's all up to here. Now I am going to read the rest of the lesson. Let me, excuse me for a second. So now we are moving into origin of paper. We have already learned that in the early stages, people used to write on clay and leaves and on stones. Egyptians used red skin as paper. The word paper has come from papyrus. Later, preparation of paper started with wood pulp. Wooden instrument of Buddha. Calligraphy means handwriting. Before inventing the printing press, people used to write with hand. Printing press people used to write with the hand. Such handwritten books are called manuscripts. Manuscript. Writing of manuscript is a very difficult process, but that has become easy by the invention of printing. Printing is easy. Now you see on page 38, there is something about a printing press and students writing homework or whatever. Here I am going to read this printing. There is a printing press here. The process of printing created a rapid change in the world and helped in the spread of knowledge at large. John Gutenberg of Germany invented the printing press in 1453. In the beginning, it was difficult, but now it has become very, very, very easy. The printing technology has been improved very much. Newspapers and all kinds of books are largely and easily printed in various colors with the pictures. Computers are also being used in this field. Then we talk about the braille. Louis Braille invented the script to help the blind people. The Braille script comprises of code letters. These letters are in the form of dots and are deeply engraved. By touching the letters, by engraved checkis ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట ఈ dots. By touching the letters, a blind man can read the matter. A letters touch చేస్తూ he can read the matter. From the 19th century onwards, it has become a basic step to teach for the blind. అందరికీ అదొక బేసిక్ బ్రెయిలీ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఏమో బేసిక్ స్క్రిప్ట్ అయింది. సమ్ ఆఫ్ ది ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆఫీసెస్, ఎలివేటర్స్, స్టెప్స్ ఎక్కడానికి ఎక్కడానికి ఇలాంటివి ఎక్కడైనా దే విల్ బి ఒక బోర్డు ఉండి దాని మీద బ్రెయిలీ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఉంటుంది. బికాజ్ ది బ్లైండ్ పర్సన్ హ్యాస్ టు నో దట్ దేర్ ఆర్ స్టెప్స్, లేకపోతే ఎలివేటర్లోని ఏ ఫ్లోర్కి వెళ్ళాలన్నా దానికి ఈ బ్రెయిలీ స్క్రిప్ట్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. From the 19th century, now by touching the letter, a blind man can read the matter. From the 19th century onwards, it has become a basic step to teach for the blind. Nowadays, audio cassettes, type machines, and computers are also made for this work, type machines. Literacy, the development of a nation depends much on the education of the people nowadays. That's what it is. ఇది అక్షరాస్యత అంటే ఎడ్యుకేషన్, డెవలప్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ నేషన్ దేని మీద ఆధారపడి ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మీద ఉంటుంది. ద మోడర్న్ మెథడ్స్ ఆఫ్ గెయినింగ్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఆర్ యూస్ఫుల్ ఫర్ ఓన్లీ లిటరేట్స్. దట్ ఈస్ వై there is an urgent need for making all the people literate for the development of the people in any country. అందువల్ల urgent need for what? Education. So if you want to develop the country, people should be educated. In our country, only 52% of the people are literate. 52% of it, that means almost half of the people are still illiterate. And this is an important reason for the backwardness of our nation. Progress comes through education. అందువల్ల మనం backward అన్నాం. We are still considered a developing nation, not developed nation. Okay? So progress comes through education only. So every one of us must work for making all people literate. Now remember, in the summary, we have in the beginning people used to exchange their feelings orally, and later they used pictorial script. Pictures గీయడం మొదలుపెట్టిన తర్వాత pictorial script వాడారు. Numbers were invented by the Indians, later were spread all over the world. Paper was first used in Egypt. Printing press was invented by John Gutenberg of Germany. Braille script has become the basic script for the blind. Okay, so in this lesson, that concludes the reading of the lesson. So, if I summarize, first of all, మనం ఏం చదువుకున్నాము, మొట్టమొదటి కమ్యూనికేషన్స్ అన్నీ బాగా పెరిగాయి. కానీ బట్ దట్ నెసిటేటెడ్ ద డెవలప్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ది లాంగ్వేజ్. ఒరిజినల్గా పీపుల్ యూస్ టు wander, as they were only just wanderers. Now later on what happened, they started living in groves. When you live in groves, then there became a necessity to communicate. First they ఏం చేశారు, కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయడానికి సౌజ్ఞంతో చేసేవారు. Later on when they learned how to draw the pictures, they used the pictures also. Now there are two types of languages with script and language without script. And there is also another script for blind people that is invented by, because Braille invented the script for blind people. There, by engraving some dots, you can easily find out that blind people are trained to read the engraving dots on a metal plate. Okay, that's the third script. And then our people, Aryabhatta and Bhaskaracharya, they contributed very well to the improvement in mathematics. Several mathematicians also worked on it, and the numbers 1 to 9 and 0 were invented by Aryabhatta. And then initially people started writing writing on Indians started writing on Talapatra. Talapatra started Kamala Rekul White Mary, Gantam Petty. And then that on that necessity, Sarota, people started using on copper plates. Copper plates, and then the need for printing paper came up, and then the paper tayar cheyadam, paper John Gutenberg printing machine kanukovam, what was baga printing kuda chaala easy ayipindi. Now, and also the important thing is that the script development law, it is in the Brahmalipi, and then it was converted to Devanagari, and all these two came from Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the mother language of all the languages, and you can see some words, you can realize some words in foreign language also, Sanskrit words in foreign language also. So we also learned about calligraphy, handwriting group, and also development of any country depends on the education, how well the people are educated, literate. So that's what the necessity for education has arisen. Okay? So that's the summary of the discussion, Anna. Originally, మానవులందరూ తిరుగుతూ ఉండేవారు, ఒంటరిగా తిరుగుతుండేవారు. తర్వాత గ్రూప్లో ఉండేవారు. గ్రూప్లో ఉన్న వల్ల ఒకరి మీద వాళ్ళు మాట్లాడుకుని కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయవలసి వచ్చింది. అప్పుడేమో బొమ్మలు గీశారు ముందు, తర్వాత సాంఖ్యం చేశారు, బొమ్మలు గీశారు, బొమ్మలు గీసి నేర్చుకుంటే బొమ్మలతో కమ్యూనికేట్ చేశారు. అండ్ దెన్ బట్ లెటర్ ఆన్ చెప్పారు, దెర్ ఆర్ 2 types ఆఫ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ చెప్పాను. ఒకటేమో స్క్రిప్ట్ ఉన్న లాంగ్వేజెస్, మరొకటేమో స్క్రిప్ట్ లేని లాంగ్వేజ్, స్క్రిప్ట్లెస్ లాంగ్వేజెస్. స్క్రిప్ట్లెస్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ఏమన్నా డయాలెక్ట్స్ అంటాం, అది తెలుగులోని మాండవికాలు అంటారు. తర్వాత ఈ ఒరిజినల్ ఏమో బ్రహ్మలిపి, and then Devanagari, and finally, see, all this came from Sanskrit. Sanskrit is considered as the mother language for all languages, and now you see Sanskrit words even in foreign languages. Tarvata, invention of the number system 1 to 9 and 0 was by the Aryabhatta, and Aryabhatta, Bhaskaracharya, and several mathematicians contributed very well even to the astrology also. They did a great job, great contribution, and all these originally people in India started writing on Talpatras, and then కొంచెం ప్రశస్తి అయితే ఇతర రేకుల మీద కూడా రాసేవారు. And finally the paper was invented. Once the paper was invented, and John Gutenberg has invented a printing machine, that changed the whole entire world. But what about the blind people? For that, Louis Braille has created a Braille script. It's on a metal plate. There are some engravings. By touching them, a blind person can read that. That's what it is. That's what the Braille script is. And finally, any development of any country depends on how well the people are educated. So it is very important the people are educated for the country to develop, for people to develop, therefore the country to develop. Okay? Thank you. I hope you understood my teaching. If you like my teaching, you can subscribe, and if you have a question, you can always send a WhatsApp message. This is the number 789-361-4045. Okay? Thank you. Have a great day.